Thanks for joining us here at the University of Florida's 4th Annual eDiscovery Conference. It's actually the Discovery Conference in coordination with EDRM. I'm David Horrigan, Kcura's Legal Content Director and eDiscovery Counsel, and I'm pleased to be here this morning with Ian Campbell, who is the president of ICONECT Development, one of the leading eDiscovery companies in the industry. Ian, can you tell me, how'd you get your start in eDiscovery?
Well, we were one of the pioneers in this game. We back in '99, we were doing cloud before cloud was cloud. And we were involved in a legal case. I was a trainer for a legal company, and they did, I was training people on how to access the data. Pretty standard, next, linear review. And then they came across and said, well, how do we get to this stuff from 18 different locations across the country? And the lights went on. And so we actually developed a way to take that database technology and web enable it by being able to sort of ask it questions and get answers, and then render those answers up as a web interface. And it really started from there. And you know, again, it was an interesting sell way back in day one. We had many people who said, we're not sure this whole internet thing's going to go anywhere. And so, you know, again, being there on day one when it first started and having that vision is something that we had back then and still have today. We're always looking over the horizon as to where the industry's going.
That's great. Now, what brings you here to the University of Florida for the conference today? On what panel will you be speaking?
We're speaking on the TAR panel, I think, but again, there's a lot of TAR conversation out there. I think the key thing for us is to talk about TAR as it relates to smaller projects and analytics being used in something other than a multi-million record project.
You make a great point there, because, and when we mention TAR, we're discussing technology assistant review, the idea that you use computer algorithms or technology to basically work with humans, training and doing other things to help the process of law. There's the old saying that all the law schools in the world could not produce enough lawyers to review all the data out there. Specifically on today's panel, what aspect of TAR will you be addressing?
Again, we're going to be talking about how to make it accessible for lawyers who aren't in a 100 lawyer, 200, 500 lawyer firm, and how sole practitioners can take advantage of it in smaller projects, be they on the plaintiff or the defense side, but the ability for them to be able to access that analytic technology for the benefit of their clients.
Sure. You know, it's always been assumed that TAR is only for big cases, and you mentioned getting this technology available, or these technologies, plural I should say, for smaller matters or smaller cases, smaller firms, solo practitioners. How big a case does it have to be to make TAR worthwhile, in your opinion?
You know, I think it can be used for anything. I mean, I think we're using TAR in our everyday lives, and I think a lot of times it's not used in a small case because it's people who are looking to use it, or clients who it's being suggested to, find it to be very, very intimidating. You know, I don't understand it, it's too hard, what if I do something wrong? And I think what we've done at ICONECT is we've gone and taken TAR really and taken to the point where people can actually access it. And the ability to go in a very simple wizard and kind of walk through the setup. When we can take away some of the complexities of it and make it very accessible technology, it really can be used for something of any size. And again, when you start looking at the technology-assisted review, beyond the actual linear review of documents or a larger scale review, a lot of it's, you know, the technology assistance can be something as simple as finding a document like this, or a near duplicate to this document, or
sure.
Take all my documents and create clusters where I can visually see that I can avoid those documents that talk about baseball, and I can focus in on all those documents that talk about banking. And by using technology-assisted review in that way, it's very, very accessible to me. But I think the key thing for us at ICONECT is to try to take down the barrier of intimidation and
sure.
make them realize that they can actually get to it and do it in a very simple way.
You know, I like to think it wasn't that long ago that I went to law school here, and the 90s weren't that long ago, but when I went to school here, eDiscovery was probably a 10-minute discussion of civil procedure class. Now the University of Florida Law has one of the preeminent programs in the country. Are you finding these changes among the litigants and the lawyers you deal with on a daily basis? Are they getting tech more than they used to?
I think they are. I mean, we have a very strong education program at ICONECT, so our software is used by a lot of different universities as part of their curriculum. So we're sort of kind of getting them young. And
we found the same thing at K-Cura. We've got the education program as well, and they are constantly demanding more and more universities are getting into it. You're seeing the same thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, if we can teach them how to use that kind of technology at an early age, it means when they come out, they're the expert, and they can start to drag some of the senior lawyers kicking and screaming into technology.
Ian Campbell, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.